Cats may not take to water that well, but one moggy in West Sussex takes a plunge every week. Custard is an 18-month-old tomcat and enjoys his weekly therapy sessions in a warm water pool designed for dogs needing physiotherapy. It's Friday morning 10 a.m. and Custard has arrived for his 15-minute physiotherapy session. He's been coming here with his owner Sue for a few weeks to take a swim and build muscles in his weak back legs. Sue consulted one of her friends who had been taking his dogs, who were suffering from a similar problem of weak back legs, to use the pool at St Andrew's Farm Kennels. Owner Annie Silver is a great believer in the benefits of hydrotherapy for animals. So Custard has been at it for a few weeks now. Initially, Annie was reluctant to try hydrotherapy on a cat, as cats traditionally don't take too well to water. This pool is normally used for dogs who suffer weak muscles, arthritis, or spinal disc problems. This is an ailment Scrumpy, the dachshund, can relate to. Those who only just start out using the pool are put in a life jacket and get extra help from Annie's colleague Paula so they don't panic. Once the animal is used to the pool, it gets strapped up like Custard. Custard doesn't seem to mind the water. He gets in, swims happily. Maybe he knows it's doing him the world of good. The team at St Andrew's Farm Kennels have recorded enormous success with all their patients. And for Custard too, things have changed for the better. He can jump about a foot higher than he could before he started the therapy sessions. And they say he's mentally better and now enjoys playing with other cats. And there's still one more thing to look forward to after the swim is over. It's the drying process. According to Annie and Sue, Custard loves the blow drying, but he gets a little cross when Sue zips him up in a bag that immobilizes him. He knows, though, that it's all for his own good, so he doesn't jump out of the towel and remains wrapped up warm until the next session. A sleepy lioness lazes in the shade at Kenya's Samburu National Park. But on closer inspection, this big cat has chosen a strange bedfellow with which to pass the time. The lioness has adopted a 5-day-old oryx, an animal she's probably more used to eating than mothering. Game wardens at Samburu National Park said they found the lioness with the young oryx over the Easter holidays, so the calf was appropriately called Easter. Here the lioness can be seen checking out the oryx's antelope mother. When she comes to suckle her baby, the lioness leaves them alone. This African predator previously adopted 2 other newborn oryxes on illustrious days, New Year and Valentine's Day. She gives the calves affection, protection from other lions, and even allows their natural mothers to come and feed them. Park wardens are watching this unusual duo round the clock to make sure the oryx isn't hunted by other animals. Easter looks well and strong, but oryx number 2 was taken away from the lioness after its condition deteriorated from lack of food. Oryx number 1 was not so lucky. The lioness managed to protect it for 2 weeks before a hungry male lion with a more traditional diet, seized the baby while the lioness was napping. And tourists on safari in Kenya are fascinated by this strange sight. Let's hope it's third time lucky for Easter. A leopard may not be able to change its spots, but perhaps this time the lioness can manage to keep hold of her young charge. This dolphinarium in the Netherlands is the only sea mammal park in Europe where there have been successful walrus births. After a pregnancy of 15 months, 21-year-old walrus mother Olga gave birth to a healthy baby boy called Boyka. The birth of the baby took about 40 minutes, a short time for the birth of a walrus. Measuring almost 1 meter long, Boyka, which means fighter in Russian, weighed 50 kilos at birth and already had a great moustache. Trainers in the park who were monitoring the little one round the clock said Boyka was quick to find his mother's milk and is growing fast. This is the second time that Olga has given birth in captivity. A few years before, she gave birth to a son named Nikolai, who still lives in the dolphinarium. Every day, he performs in a show together with his father Igor to entertain the hundreds of visitors. And soon, they will be joined by Olga and Boyka. This is the 22nd Seljuk Efes Camel Wrestling Festival. And it welcomed more than 23,000 camel wrestling fans to the Aegean city of Aydin. "120 camels from all over the country were paraded in the wrestling arena from the early hours of Sunday morning. Spectators picnicked and danced as the camels wrestled. The Seljuk municipality gave each camel owner a traditional carpet as a gift. Beside the wrestling, the Seljuk municipality also awarded prizes to the best dressed camel, the most majestic, and the most beautiful camel of the festival. Preparations for this festival had started months before the Games. The festival is considered an important activity for the region as a means of promoting tourism. It has been held every January for well over 20 years. A border collie that scientists say may be proof that dogs truly understand human language has been lapping up media attention. Rico the dog outshone all human competitors in a popular TV talent show. He remembers the names of more than 200 objects. German researchers who have studied Rico for several years say he also shows a skill normal in young children for forming a rough meaning of a new word. Rico's owner, Suzanne Baus, has collected more than 200 cuddly toys so far, and Rico knows them all by name. Baus, from Dortmund, West Germany, says her dog shows little sign of tiring of the game, but also relishes hunting for well-hidden toys. Rico developed his skills while incapacitated for a year after a shoulder operation. The special thing about Rico is that he knows all of his 200 toys by name. He's also able to logically conclude by hearing a new word that this word must relate to the new toy that he sees. Rico the dog also has a formidable memory because he actually memorizes the conclusions he has come to for up to 4 weeks. Rico won the German Wetten das TV program for Odd Talents a few years back and went on to be voted the best performer in the show's first 20-odd years. This is the first female megamouth to be discovered in southern Africa. It washed up on a beach about 400 kilometers east of Cape Town. It is only the third female megamouth shark to be discovered to date, and scientists are very keen to dissect and study the shark. Only about a dozen specimens, mostly males, have been found since this animal was discovered when a US naval experimental trawler caught one of the sharks off Hawaii in 1976. As its name suggests, the shark has a massive mouth, but is harmless to humans as it is mainly a plankton eater. Visitors to San Diego's Wild Animal Park Zoo are flocking to see a rare calf that looks like a cross between a zebra, a giraffe, and a hyena. The Okapi calf, whose natural habitat is in the Democratic Republic of Congo, was recently discovered by scientists in the early 20th century and are the only living relatives of the giraffe. The animal's midnight blue tongue is about a foot long and is quite adept at harvesting leaves for dinner. An okapi tongue is also used for grooming and is long enough to clean its eyes as well as its ears. Known worldwide for its stalky legs and full pink plumage, the flamingo recently became the latest target of an Argentine zoo's conservation efforts. The La Plata Zoo on the country's northern coast has launched a program to aid the survival and reproduction of its 123 adult flamingos. A large element of the program will be focused on increasing the amount of carotene in the flamingo's diet. According to Carlos Gallardi from the zoo, the results can be seen in the color of the plumage, which will deepen with more carotene. He also hopes surrounding the birds with a calm atmosphere will help their survival rates. The zoo claims to have 25 flamingos between 1 and 3 years who were born in captivity, 18 chicks, as well as 14 eggs. Flamingos can live up to almost 50 years in captivity, can reach up to 5 feet in height, and have a wingspan of approximately 5 feet. Because of the remote areas in which flamingos live, including parts of Europe, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, and Africa, they have few predators. A flamingo's only defense against a predator is to fly away. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora has listed the Caribbean, Chilean, Andean, and James flamingos as in need of protection and considered to be threatened. In 1924, according to the New York-based Wildlife Trust, the James flamingo, which resides in the high-altitude region of the Andes Mountains, was believed to be extinct, but was rediscovered in 1957. "42 stray dogs taken from the streets of Bangkok have been undergoing a grueling police dog training program. These dogs will assist police in operations and have spent 20 weeks training to sniff for drugs and explosives and hunt down criminals." Prior to this initiative, Thai police had exclusively used canines of foreign breeds such as Dobermans, German Shepherds, Labradors and Retrievers for work as police dogs. But the foreign purebreds are too expensive to buy. As tens of thousands of stray dogs roam the streets of Bangkok, they can easily be picked up and trained at a far lower cost. At the Pak Chong Military Working Dogs Battalion, the dogs and their handlers put on a fine display, showing off an array of skills. The next thing to do is to dispatch these dogs from the military dog school to military bases to do real work. From there, they will be evaluated to see if they can do their jobs as well. Colonel Chan Pum is the commander of Military Working Dogs Battalion. He admitted the training had been slow during the 4 months, as many of the strays had been abused and did not trust humans. For this reason, it took weeks for the dogs to recognize and answer to the names they were given. But for Bois Dang, a feisty 3-year-old, the training was easy. His handler admitted that Bois Dang probably got ample practice sniffing dustbins for food, as he never failed to locate hidden methamphetamine pills. Bois Dang was very quiet and lonely when he first arrived here, but his handler says he now is very playful and enjoys the training. In the first 10 weeks, the dogs were taught basic obedience, followed by 2 months of general police tasks. Champa is another success story, always managing to find a fake bomb hidden among suspicious packages. These newly trained dogs now face a 2-month probation before they are put to the test on Thailand's dangerous borders. Their job sniffing out bombs and drugs. A specialised centre in the United Arab Emirates has made it the symbol of the desert, a camel, with the more exotic llama, and has produced catus, a unique hybrid that combines the best of both animals. British veterinarian Lulu Skidmore has been breeding catus for years and says he has created an animal with the sought-after coat of a llama and the endurance of the larger camel. Skidmore's improbable-sounding experiment is the first of its kind in the world. Rama is male, and he's been joined by Camila, a brown and white cuddly female who looks like both her parents. Although they hail from east and west, camels and llamas originated from the same ancient camelid that inhabited the Rocky Mountains area of North America some 30 million years ago. More camelids went into South America's Andes Mountains, where they were domesticated by the ancient Incas into llamas. Despite their close links, camels and llamas do not mate in the wild, although they can be readily crossbred as they have the same number of chromosomes. At the CRC, nature gets a helping hand in the form of state-of-the-art reproduction techniques. Since camels only ovulate when they have intercourse, Skidmore and her two-man team first inject the llamas with a hormone called gonadotrophin to stimulate ovulation. They then monitor the development of the llama's ovaries, and then when the follicles are ripe, the animals are inseminated by fresh camel semen. If the researchers are lucky, pregnancy will occur and a camel will be born around 11 months later. Rama, the first hybrid, boasts a llama-like disposition, but his vocalizations and general appearance are more like a camel. And Skidmore hopes Camila will also grow into a creature with a good quality coat and whose size is somewhere between her mother and her 500-kilogram father. So far, the CRC has inseminated 50 llamas. It has also inseminated female camels and transferred fertilized camel embryos into female camels. Every year, Skidmore holds courses on reproduction methods for camel specialists from as far afield as Kazakhstan and Sudan. But it's the camels that are her real passion. When discussing the animals, Skidmore sounds proud and disparaging, like a mother talking about her children. And like most parents, Skidmore doesn't know how her offspring will turn out, but the scientist in her knows that their existence is as important as their future.